Have you ever looked at your own potential and thought, I could be so much more than this, and then went right back to scrolling? Yeah, that's you. You're ambitious. You've got big dreams. You talk about building something real. You imagine the money, the freedom, the body, the confidence. You can see it so clearly in your head. But here's the brutal truth. You're lazy. Not stupid, not incapable, lazy. And that's the most dangerous combination on the planet. Because when you're ambitious but lazy, you live in constant frustration. You know you're meant for more, but your actions scream average. You say you want to win, but your habits are built for losing. You tell yourself you're just waiting for the right time, but deep down you know the truth. You're addicted to comfort. You wake up and the first thing you grab is your phone. Not your goals, not your plan, not your life, your phone. 30 minutes gone, an hour gone, dopamine hit after dopamine hit. You watch other people build the life you claim you want. You scroll through men who are stronger than you, richer than you, more disciplined than you. And instead of feeling inspired, you feel tired. Because ambition without action turns into guilt, and guilt turns into self-hate. You start telling yourself lies. I work better under pressure. I'm just tired today. I'll start next week. I just need motivation. No, you don't. You need a damn wake-up call. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your boss, not some magic opportunity that falls out of the sky. Nobody is coming. If you don't build the discipline, your ambition will rot inside you, and that's a special kind of hell, watching your own potential decay in real time. You know what's crazy? You don't even hate hard work. You hate discomfort. You hate the moment when it gets boring, when it gets repetitive, when nobody claps, when nobody sees you trying. You want results without the lonely grind. You want confidence without doing hard things. You want success without earning it. And that gap between who you are and who you could be, that gap is eating you alive. Every night before you sleep, there's this quiet voice. It whispers, you're wasting your life. And you shut it down with another episode, another scroll, another distraction. Screw it, tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow comes and it looks exactly like today. Wake the hell up. This isn't about productivity hacks. It's not about morning routines or some perfect plan. It's about identity. Right now, you identify as someone who has potential. That's cute. But the world doesn't reward potential. It rewards output. It rewards consistency. It rewards the guy who shows up when he doesn't feel like it. You keep saying you're ambitious. Prove it. Because ambition isn't what you say, it's what you sacrifice. If you can't sacrifice comfort, you're not ambitious, you're delusional. Look at your day honestly. Strip the excuses, strip the ego. How many hours did you waste? How many times did you say later? How many chances did you ignore because it felt inconvenient? You're not stuck, you're soft. And that's not an insult, it's a diagnosis. The good news is, soft can become strong. But not by wishing, not by watching more motivational videos, and definitely not by waiting until you feel ready. You're waiting for a version of you that only exists after you do the work. You want confidence? Do hard things. You want discipline? Do what you hate consistently. You want a different life? Stop living the same damn day over and over again. Right now, your comfort zone feels safe, but it's a slow death. It's the quiet kind. The kind where nothing dramatic happens, no explosion, no disaster, just years slipping by, dreams fading, energy dropping, regret building. One day you'll look around and realize you're still in the same place you were 5 years ago. Same excuses, same habits, same almost. That should scare you, because the pain of discipline lasts minutes. The pain of regret lasts decades. You don't have a motivation problem. You have a standard problem. You've set the bar so low that mediocrity feels acceptable. Raise it. Raise it so high that your current habits feel embarrassing. You say you're ambitious, then act like it. Wake up earlier. Turn the phone off. Do the work before you feel like it. Stay when it gets boring. Finish what you start. It's not glamorous, it's not sexy, but it's real. And right now, real is exactly what you need. Because if you keep living like this, half dreaming, half trying, half committing, you won't fail dramatically. you'll fade quietly, and that's worse. This is the moment, not next week, not next month, not when life feels easier, right now. The question isn't whether you have ambition. The question is, are you finally sick enough of your own excuses to change? Let me ask you something. How long have you been telling yourself, I'm going to change? A month? A year? Since high school? You've had this vision in your head for a long time, the disciplined version of you, the focused one, the guy who wakes up early, trains hard, builds something real, moves with purpose. The version of you that doesn't hesitate. And every time you imagine him, you feel a spark. Then reality hits. The alarm rings, you hit snooze. You sit down to work, you open YouTube just for a minute. You promise you'll start after one more scroll. And just like that, the spark dies again. Here's the truth nobody likes to admit. You're not tired. You're overstimulated. Your brain is fried. Constant noise, constant content, constant distraction. You've trained your mind to crave easy dopamine, quick hits, fast rewards, zero resistance. So when real work shows up, slow, uncomfortable, repetitive, your brain screams, this is boring, this is hard, this can wait. And you listen. That's the cycle. Ambition, excitement, discomfort, escape, guilt, repeat. You keep waiting for a day when it clicks, when discipline suddenly feels natural, when grinding feels easy. That day is not coming. Nobody wakes up one morning magically disciplined. Discipline is built in the moments you don't want to act. Right now, your biggest enemy isn't laziness, it's self-betrayal. Every time you say you'll do something and you don't, you chip away at your own self-trust. You tell yourself, I'll work out tonight, I'll start that project today, I'll stop wasting time. And when you don't follow through, your brain learns something dangerous. It learns that your word means nothing. You don't even trust yourself anymore. That's why you hesitate. That's why you overthink. That's why you doubt. Because deep down, you know you don't keep promises to yourself. Wake up. This isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming reliable to yourself. If you can't rely on you, who can? You want to feel powerful? Start by doing exactly what you said you would do, even if it's small, especially if it's small. You don't need a massive transformation overnight. You need proof. Proof that when you say, I'm going to do this, it gets done. Right now, your comfort zone feels like safety, but it's actually a cage. And the bars aren't made of steel. They're made of habits. You've built a routine that keeps you small. Wake up late, scroll, half focus, avoid discomfort, distract, repeat. It feels normal because you've done it so long. But normal doesn't mean healthy. Normal can be destructive. Look around at your life. Is this what an ambitious person's day looks like? Be honest. Would you hire you? Would you bet on you? If someone followed you around for a week, would they say, this guy is serious? Or would they say, he talks big, but he moves small? That gap between your talk and your walk, that's the battlefield. And right now, you're losing. Not because you're incapable, but because you're choosing comfort over growth again and again. Here's the hard truth. Your future self is watching you. 5 years from now, you'll either thank yourself or resent yourself. There is no neutral. Every hour you waste is a vote for the weaker version of you. Every time you choose discipline, even when it sucks, is a vote for the stronger version. You don't become strong in one heroic moment. You become strong in boring ones. In the moment you close the app, in the moment you stand up instead of sitting down, in the moment you finish the task instead of quitting halfway. Strength is built quietly. Laziness is loud. It screams for comfort. It screams for excuses. It screams, you deserve a break. From what? You're not exhausted from progress.
You're exhausted from avoiding it. That constant tension of knowing you should be doing more but not doing it, that drains you. Action creates energy. Avoidance creates anxiety. And you've been living in avoidance for too long. You say you want freedom. Freedom comes from control. Control over your time, control over your habits, control over your impulses. Right now, your impulses control you. A notification controls you. A craving controls you. A mood controls you. And you call that just how I am. No, that's who you trained yourself to be. But here's the part that should fire you up. If you trained yourself to be undisciplined, you can train yourself to be disciplined. You built these habits, you can rebuild. It's not easy, it's not fast, it's not comfortable, but it's simple. Do what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. You don't need to be extreme. You need to be consistent. Stop trying to overhaul your entire life in one dramatic burst of motivation. That's your ego talking. Real change is quiet. It's choosing to work for 1 hour with full focus. It's going to the gym when your mind says skip. It's saying no to the easy distraction, over and over again, until the lazy version of you starts to feel unfamiliar. Right now, you're standing at a line. On one side, comfort, distraction, wasted years. On the other side, discomfort, growth, self-respect. Nobody can push you across that line. Nobody is coming. So the question is simple. Are you going to keep negotiating with your excuses? Or are you finally ready to shut them up and move?
Let's get something straight. You're not weak because you feel lazy. You're weak because you keep surrendering. There's a difference. Feeling resistance is human. Giving into it every single time, that's a habit, and habits can be broken. But first, you have to stop romanticizing your own struggle. You say, I'm just not motivated lately. No, you've built a lifestyle that kills motivation. Late nights, endless scrolling, junk input, zero structure, no real pressure, no real consequences. You've made comfort your default setting, and then you're shocked that you don't feel driven. Drive doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in friction. Right now, your life has too many escape doors. Don't feel like working? Open Instagram. Don't feel like training? Watch Netflix. Don't feel like thinking? Scroll TikTok. Don't feel like facing reality? Sleep. You never sit in discomfort long enough for it to shape you. The second it gets hard, you bail. And every time you bail, you reinforce the identity of someone who quits. That's the part that should sting. Because it's not about the missed workout. It's not about the unfinished project. It's about the story you're writing about yourself. You're teaching your brain, I don't finish. You're teaching your brain, I avoid hard things. You're teaching your brain, I can't handle discomfort. And then you wonder why you lack confidence. Confidence doesn't come from affirmations. It comes from evidence. Evidence that you can handle pressure. Evidence that you can keep going. Evidence that when things get uncomfortable, you don't run. Right now, your evidence says the opposite. And you feel it. That quiet insecurity when someone talks about big goals. That hesitation when opportunity shows up. That small voice that says, you probably won't follow through anyway. That voice didn't appear randomly. You created it. Wake up. This is the turning point. Not because something magical is about to happen, but because you're finally seeing the pattern. You've been trying to change outcomes with the same habits, more success with the same discipline, more respect with the same effort. It doesn't work like that. If you want a different life, you need a different identity. An identity is built through repeated action, not talk, not planning, not dreaming. Action. You don't become disciplined by thinking about discipline. You become disciplined by forcing yourself to execute when every part of you wants to quit. And here's where it gets real. There will be days when you don't feel inspired, days when your energy is low, days when doubt creeps in. That's normal. The difference between average and elite is simple. Average waits to feel good. Elite moves anyway. You've been waiting to feel ready. Ready is a myth. Ready is what you feel after you've done the hard thing 10 times in a row. You think the confident guy started confident? No. He showed up scared. He worked while uncertain. He pushed through resistance. And slowly, his mind adapted. You're not behind in life. You're behind in reps. Reps of discipline, reps of focus, reps of finishing what you start. Right now, you're addicted to starting. New plan, new goal, new routine. It feels good at the beginning, fresh, exciting. But the moment the novelty fades, you disappear. That's why your life feels stuck. Because progress lives in the boring middle, in the weeks when nothing dramatic happens, in the sessions when no one is watching, in the mornings when you're tired but you get up anyway. That's where the shift happens. But you never stay long enough to experience it. You quit right before momentum builds. And then you blame luck, you blame timing, you blame circumstances. But deep down you know. You stopped. Again. Stop doing that. Stop restarting your life every Monday. Stop waiting for the perfect month. Stop telling yourself this time will be different without changing your behavior. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Simple. You don't need a new strategy. You need a new level of intolerance for your own excuses. When your brain says skip it, your response needs to be not this time. When your mind says you can do it tomorrow, you answer no, now. It's not about being dramatic. It's about being decisive. Right now, your decisions are soft. You negotiate with yourself. Just 5 more minutes, just 1 more video, just today off. And those small negotiations are costing you years. Years. Let that sink in. You're not losing days, you're losing potential futures. The stronger version of you is not far away. He's on the other side of consistent discomfort. The question is, are you finally willing to walk through it?
Let's strip this down to something uncomfortable. You don't actually hate your situation enough. That's the problem. You complain about your life, but you tolerate it. You say you want more money, but you're okay staying average. You say you want a better body, but you're fine skipping workouts. You say you want discipline, but you keep choosing what's easy. If you were truly fed up, your behavior would show it. Pain is a powerful teacher, but only when it's sharp enough. Right now, your pain is dull. It's not rock bottom, it's not disaster, it's just dissatisfaction. And that's dangerous, because you can live in dissatisfaction for years. Scrolling, dreaming, talking, planning, almost starting. You know what finally changes a man? When the discomfort of staying the same becomes greater than the discomfort of changing. You're not there yet, but you're close. You feel it when you see someone your age winning. You feel it when you look in the mirror too long. You feel it when another year passes and nothing significant moved. That sting? That's your potential screaming. But instead of listening, you numb it. Food, entertainment, mindless noise, pointless arguments online, watching other people live. You've built a life designed to distract you from your own disappointment. Wake the hell up. Every distraction is stealing something from you. Your focus, your time, your edge. And here's what nobody tells you. Your edge is everything. The world is competitive now. Ruthless, fast, distracting. If you don't develop mental strength, you will get swallowed. Not because you're incapable, but because you're indisciplined. And discipline is rare. Most people are comfortable being average. They talk about goals at dinner. They repost quotes. They start things with energy. But they don't endure. They don't push when it's lonely. They don't stay consistent when results are invisible. They don't sacrifice immediate pleasure for long-term gain.
You've been acting like them. And that's not who you want to be. Be honest. You don't actually want an easy life. You want a meaningful one. But meaning requires effort. It requires you to choose growth over ego, long-term over short-term, reality over fantasy. Right now, your fantasy self is strong. He's confident, disciplined, successful. But your real self? He folds under minor discomfort. That gap hurts. So close it. Not by dreaming harder, by acting harder. You need to simplify this. Forget the 10-step morning routine. Forget the productivity apps. Forget trying to redesign your entire personality overnight. Start with one rule. No more self-betrayal. If you say you're going to train, you train. If you say you're going to work for an hour, you work for an hour. If you say you're done scrolling, you put the phone down. No negotiation. Your word has to mean something. Right now, it doesn't. And that's why you don't respect yourself fully. Self-respect isn't given. It's earned in private. When nobody is clapping, when nobody is watching. When the only thing on the line is your integrity. Want to feel powerful? Keep one promise to yourself every single day. Just one. And don't break it. At first, it'll feel small. But that small promise becomes identity. Identity becomes behavior. Behavior becomes results. Results change your life. But it starts with you deciding that you're done being soft. Not loud, not dramatic, not extreme. Just done. Done wasting hours. Done waiting for perfect conditions. Done blaming mood, energy, circumstances. Because here's the truth you've been avoiding. You have enough time. You just don't control it. You have enough ability. You just don't apply it. You have enough opportunity. You just don't commit. That's hard to hear, but it's empowering. Because if you're the problem, you're also the solution. Nobody is coming. No mentor is going to knock on your door. No magical motivation wave is going to carry you. No sudden personality upgrade is going to hit you overnight. You build it. Rep by rep, day by day, choice by choice. And yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. Comfort built the version of you that you're frustrated with. Discomfort builds the version you admire. So stop chasing easy. Start chasing growth. Stop asking, do I feel like it? Start asking, does this move me forward? That's the shift. That's where strength begins. And once you taste the confidence that comes from keeping your word, once you feel what it's like to end a day proud instead of guilty, you won't want to go back. Because guilt is heavy. But discipline is freedom.
Here's the part nobody glamorizes. The transition. That ugly middle phase where you've decided to change, but you're not strong yet. You're not the old you anymore, the one who quits instantly. But you're not the disciplined version either. You're in between. And that's uncomfortable as hell. Because now you see your excuses clearly. You can't lie to yourself the same way. When you reach for your phone, you know exactly what you're doing. When you skip the work, you feel it immediately. There's no ignorance anymore, just awareness. And awareness without action is torture. This is where most people fold. Not because they can't change, but because the early phase of discipline feels unrewarding. You wake up early, nothing dramatic happens. You train hard, your body barely changes. You work consistently, no applause.
It feels like effort without payoff. And your brain starts whispering again. Is this even worth it? You were happier before. This is too much. No. You were comfortable before. There's a difference. Comfort feels good in the moment. Growth feels good in hindsight. Right now, you're building something invisible. Neural pathways, self-trust, mental calluses. You don't see it yet, but it's happening. Every time you override the urge to quit, you're rewiring who you are. Every time you follow through, even when it's boring, you're stacking proof. And proof changes identity. One day, you'll wake up and realize something strange. The thing that used to feel impossible now feels normal. Waking up early? Normal. Training hard? Normal. Working focused for hours? Normal. That's when the shift locks in. But you don't get there by intensity. You get there by consistency. Stop trying to go from 0 to savage overnight. That's your ego again. Real transformation is almost boring. It's quiet discipline, small improvements, no drama. You don't need to destroy yourself. You need to stabilize yourself. Right now, your life probably feels chaotic. Sleep schedule all over the place, energy inconsistent, focus scattered. You don't need a revolution. You need structure. Wake up at the same time. Train at the same time. Work at the same time. Simple. Repetition builds identity, and identity builds power. You think the strongest people feel motivated all the time? No. They feel resistance just like you. The difference is they stopped negotiating with it. They don't ask, should I? They say, I do. That's it. Decision made, action taken. No internal debate. You've been living in debate, arguing with yourself, convincing yourself, justifying delays. That mental friction is exhausting. Decisiveness is energy saving. When you decide who you are, decisions become automatic. I don't skip. I don't quit. I don't break my word. That identity simplifies everything. Right now, you're trying to change behavior without committing to identity. That's why it feels fragile. Choose who you are, and then act in alignment with that choice every day. Will you mess up sometimes? Of course, but there's a difference between slipping and surrendering. Slip, adjust, continue. Don't spiral. Don't turn one bad decision into a bad week. You're not aiming for perfection. You're aiming for dominance over your impulses. That's strength. Not muscles, not money, not status. Control. Control over your attention, control over your habits, control over your emotions. Imagine what your life looks like with just that. Imagine waking up and knowing you can trust yourself. Imagine setting a goal and knowing you'll execute. Imagine the confidence that comes from discipline. That's not fantasy. That's built. But it's built by people who stop playing games with their own potential. And here's the raw truth. You've been playing small, not because you're meant to, but because it's easier. It's easier to dream than to execute. Easier to plan than to persist. Easier to scroll than to struggle. But easy is expensive. It costs you your edge. It costs you your time. It costs you the man you could become. And you feel that cost every night when things get quiet. That whisper again. You're capable of more. You are. But capability means nothing without action. You don't need another speech. You don't need another strategy. You don't need another perfect time. You need to decide that average is no longer acceptable. That comfort is no longer your master. That your word means something. And once that decision is real, not emotional, not dramatic, but firm, everything shifts. Because the world responds differently to someone who moves with certainty. And you're closer than you think. You felt the frustration long enough. Now it's time to convert it into fuel.
So here it is, the line in the sand.
Not dramatic, not cinematic, just real. You've spent years knowing you're capable of more, years feeling that pressure in your chest, years watching other people move while you hesitated. And now you understand something clearly. It was never about talent. It was never about resources. It was never about timing. It was about control. You let your impulses run your life. You let comfort dictate your schedule. You let distraction steal your focus. You let fear convince you to wait. And the scariest part? You almost made peace with that. You almost accepted being the guy who could have been. That should shake you. Because there are two types of pain in this world: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. Discipline burns in the moment. Regret burns for decades. Picture yourself 10 years from now. Same habits, same excuses, same internal frustration. Watching younger, hungrier people pass you. Knowing you had the potential. Knowing you wasted it. That's not dramatic. That's common. Average lives are built from small daily compromises. You don't wake up one day and decide to fail. You just choose comfort often enough that failure becomes the outcome. But here's the power in all of this. If small compromises can destroy your future, small disciplines can build it. One focused hour, one completed workout, one kept promise, one moment where you say, "No, I'm doing it." That's how momentum starts. You've been waiting for a big breakthrough. Breakthroughs are just stacked small wins. Nothing changes overnight, but everything changes when you stop betraying yourself. And this is the realization that shifts everything. You don't need to feel ready. You need to move. Action creates clarity. Action creates confidence. Action creates identity. Waiting creates doubt. You've been trying to think your way into a new life, but you act your way into it. Right now, you have a choice. Close this video and go back to autopilot. Or close it and do something difficult immediately. Not tomorrow, now. Because this moment matters more than motivation ever will. Motivation fades. Standards don't. Set a standard for yourself that's higher than your feelings. When you're tired, move. When you're bored, work. When you're scared, step forward. You're not fragile. You've just been untested. And testing yourself is uncomfortable, but it's the only way to build mental strength. You want to become stronger mentally? Stop avoiding hard things. Lean into them. You're anxious about starting that project? Good, start it. You're insecure about your body? Good, train. You're afraid of failing? Good, try anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action despite it. And the more you act, the quieter fear becomes. Right now, your life is shaped by repetition. If you repeat distraction, you build weakness. If you repeat discipline, you build power. That's it. No secret formula, no magic trick. Just repetition. You've been repeating the wrong things. Change the pattern. And don't announce it. Don't post about it. Don't seek validation for it. Build in silence. Let people notice later. The strongest version of you doesn't argue with himself. He decides. He executes. He moves. And here's the truth you've been avoiding this whole time. You already know what to do. You don't need more information. You need execution. You need to wake the hell up and stop wasting your life. Nobody is coming. Not to push you, not to rescue you, not to force you to grow. It's on you. And that's not pressure. That's freedom. Because if it's on you, it's in your control. You can stay ambitious and lazy, trapped in frustration. Or you can become ambitious and disciplined, dangerous,
focused, unstoppable. The difference is a decision. Make it. Not emotionally, not loudly, not for show. Quietly, firmly. And then prove it to yourself tomorrow morning when the alarm rings. That's where the real story begins. Not in what you say, in what you do.